HOA cited my cabin for a smart lock, then got cited for federal wire tampering and trespass. The letter arrived on a crisp autumn morning, slid under my cabin's door like a venomous snake. Violation notice. It screamed in bold red ink, signed by Karen Wentworth, HOA president. My crime? Installing a smart lock on my own front door. Apparently, its sleek, modern design clashed with the neighborhood's rustic aesthetic. Replace it within 48 hours or face a $500 fine. I stare at the notice, my coffee growing cold. This wasn't just about a lock. Karen had been gunning for me ever since I moved into Pinewood Estates, a cozy enclave of cabins where her word was law. To her, I was the outsider who dared to challenge her iron grip. I'd heard the stories. Karen, with her perfectly styled blonde bob and penchant for Chanel scarves, ruled the HOA like a dictator. She'd fine Mrs. Larson for planting tulips instead of daisies, demanded Mr. Patel remove his kid's treehouse for visual pollution, and even cited a retiree for a mailbox that was half an inch too tall. But this was personal. My smart lock wasn't just functional, it was my small rebellion against her suffocating control. I wasn't going to back down. That night, I pored over the HOA bylaws. Buried in fine print was a clause. All exterior modifications required board approval, but only if they materially altered the property's appearance. My lock was barely noticeable, blending seamlessly with the door's dark wood. Karen's citation was a stretch, a power play. I drafted a polite but firm appeal, citing the bylaws, and emailed it to the HOA board. The response came swiftly. Appeal denied. Comply or face penalties. Karen's signature was scrawled at the bottom, practically dripping with smugness. Then, the truth unraveled. I wasn't the only one she'd targeted. At the community mailbox the next day, I overheard whispers. She cited my porch light, grumbled Tom, a grizzled carpenter, said my fence was too modern, muttered Elena, a single mom. Karen had been issuing citations left and right, each one flimsier than the last. But the real bombshell came from an unexpected source. Mrs. Delaney, the quiet widow who lived at the end of the lane. Over tea, she revealed she'd seen Karen snooping around my cabin at night, peering at my lock with a flashlight. She's obsessed, Mrs. Delaney whispered, her hands trembling. She's been trying to catch you breaking rules for months. That was the twist I didn't see coming. Karen wasn't just enforcing rules, she was stalking me, looking for any excuse to tighten her grip. Mrs. Delaney's words lit a fire in me. I installed a small security camera above my porch, hidden in a birdhouse. If Karen was watching, I'd watch back. 2 nights later, my phone pinged with a motion alert. The footage was grainy but unmistakable. Karen, in a tailored coat and heels, creeping onto my porch at 2 a.m. She held a crowbar, her face twisted with disdain as she pried at my smart lock. Sparks flew as she yanked wires from the device, muttering to herself. The lock's alarm blared, and she froze, then fled into the darkness. My heart pounded. This wasn't just an HOA violation, it was vandalism, maybe worse. I saved the footage and called the police. The next morning, the neighborhood buzzed with tension. Police cars lined the street as officers examined my damaged lock and collected the crowbar Karen had dropped in her haste. I showed them the footage, and their eyes widened. This isn't just property damage, one officer said. That lock's connected to your home's Wi-Fi. Tampering with it could be considered wire tampering, a federal offense. I hadn't realized the stakes were that high. Karen's obsession had crossed a line into serious crime. Word spread fast. Neighbors gathered outside my cabin, some outraged, others gleeful. Karen arrived, summoned by the police, her face a mask of indignation. "This is absurd," she snapped, her voice shrill. I was protecting the neighborhood's aesthetic, but the officers weren't buying it. They played the footage on a tablet, and her smug facade cracked. The crowd gasped as her crowbar-wielding figure filled the screen. "You trespassed and damaged private property," an officer said, cuffing her wrists. "And we're investigating the wire tampering angle with the feds." Karen's downfall was swift and spectacular. The HOA board held an emergency meeting, and with the evidence undeniable, they voted unanimously to remove her as president. But the real blow came days later when federal agents arrived. My smart lock, it turned out, was part of a network security system, and Karen's tampering had disrupted its encrypted sign-on violation under federal wiretapping laws. She faced not just fines, but potential prison time. The woman who terrorized Pinewood Estates with petty citations was now cited herself. Her name splashed across local news as the HOA tyrant. As Karen's legal battles began, the neighborhood exhaled. The HOA, under new leadership, rescinded her frivolous citations. My smart lock stayed, a quiet symbol of defiance. Mrs. Delaney, now a local hero for her tip-off, started a gardening club, and even Tom's too modern porch light was deemed just fine. The community felt alive again, free from Karen's shadow. Looking back, I realized this wasn't just about a lock or even Karen's vendetta. It was about standing up to those who wield power for control rather than good. Karen's arrogance had blinded her, but her fall reminded us all that justice, though slow, catches up. I rebuilt my porch, lock and all, and every time I tap my phone to unlock it, I smell a little rebellion that sparked a reckoning. What do you think? Was Karen's punishment fair, or did her obsession with control stem from something deeper? Share your thoughts. I am curious to hear where you stand on right and wrong in this saga.